Do you like comic books? Do you like all types of nerdy shit? Do you like hearing people discuss these topics? Do you like hearing one guy talk to himself for an hour about this kind of shit? Well, then you've come to the right place. Welcome to the Bat in the Hat podcast, hosted by me, Secret Identity Man. This is the intro to my podcast, innit? What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Bat in the Hat podcast, where we dive deep into all things nerd. My name is Ted Cord, and with me, as always, is my man, Matt. What's up, Matt?
What's up, my brother?
What's happening, dude?
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a good week. What about you?
It's been too long.
We only get to see each other
Once
a week now
We're on a
because
schedule.
we're adults with responsibilities.
Yes. But we make time for each other.
We do. We try every Sunday for y'all's entertainment and for our own, if we're being honest.
Mm-hmm.
And what are we doing this week, Matt?
This is the first entry in our hashtag Arkhamverse,
Arkhamverse.
and I'm very excited about it.
I'm so excited.
This is gonna be fun.
I thought this was just a good idea. So
a great
basically,
idea.
guys, just before we get into it, every couple weeks, really whenever we just run out of ideas or don't have anything big to talk about that week, we are going to do an Arkhamverse series because later this year, we have a brand new Arkham game coming out by WB Montreal. So we want to do episode by episode, kind of not all back to back because I think we'd get a little bat fatigue, maybe.
We don't want to overbaturate.
Yeah, fuck you. We're going to, but we're gonna split it up into probably one every month now. So
Yeah.
and then we got some other really exciting stuff that we're gonna talk about later on. And the big announcement of the podcast is Matt is here.
Yeah, no, I'm right here, dude.
Yeah, no, Matt, if you guys haven't really been listening to the podcast before Matt came on, he is this is his third official episode and the first official episode as my permanent co-host. So I used to do I hate you.
Oh, dude, I shouldn't have
hate you.
downloaded this.
He had to get a soundboard.
It was one of my requirements.
Yeah.
If it can't be called the Matt in the Hat, that I have to have a soundboard. And,
if it can't be called the Matt in the Hat, yeah, he wanted a soundboard and he
got
a
it.
little soundboard on his phone. So I'm so proud of you.
But thank you, though, seriously, for
Yeah, man.
Including me in this venture.
Everybody
I'm super excited.
who listens loves you, probably more than me a little bit, but
That's
we have a really good
understandable.
back and forth. It's a lot of fun. And I was doing these episodes, the first 4 episodes or 5 episodes, by myself, which, don't get me wrong, I can talk to myself for hours, but it was just a struggle coming up with content. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of stuff already planned that we've talked about, so just every week we're going to be coming with new shit, which is just going to be really cool. So what are we getting into tonight? We have the first episode of Arkhamverse, which is Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, so we're going to go in order of release rather
Yes.
than order of story, like we did with...
Yeah, because I
yeah.
think it'd be... I think they laid it out for us that way for a reason, and I think it's going to be fun to come to the contrasts of like Origins and stuff when we get there.
Yeah, Origins is great.
And Origins is great, but one thing I noticed when I was doing all my notes for this is how different characters are from Asylum to their future outings.
Yeah.
Even ones that have been in like every game, and we'll get to that in just a second. But I want to know, just go ahead and give me your ranking of all the games. We have 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
We have Asylum, City, Arkham Origins, and then Arkham Knight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where do you place Origins, or I'm sorry, where do you place Asylum in that group?
See, this one's hard because if I'm being 100% honest, it was the first one. It was game changer, kind of literally defined the free flow combat we know and love now. Asylum, honestly, would probably be last. I don't like it. The whole game's contained.
Really?
Yeah, so with
Last?
City, that was like Batman Unleashed. You had all of Arkham City, but you go back and play Asylum, and you're stuck in the asylum, and after a while, you're just like, dude, I just want to Batman around.
So we'll talk about City in depth next time, of course. But one thing I noticed about City when I was going back and beating it again was that the thing about Arkham Knight is you had the Batmobile to get around and you had the grapnel boost.
Mm-hmm.
And in City, you don't have either of those things, and it takes you so fucking long to get around the city. It is the longest. You are just gliding from gargoyle to gargoyle
to get along that whole thing, and it makes that big expansive map awful. I like Arkham, I like Arkham Asylum, excuse me, because Arkham Asylum is actually arguably my favorite game. It introduced us to the amazing Arkham series in general by staging the classic Arkham takeover. Like, how cool of an idea. That was always my favorite thing. Now, keep in mind, when this came out, we didn't have grand visions of what Arkham City was going to be or what Arkham Knight was going to be. We just had, they're making a new Batman game.
Right.
And if you remember that stun of seeing, I remember the first time I was at I don't remember if it was a Best Buy or a GameStop, but I remember they had the demo set up for Arkham Asylum. It was a GameStop. Now I remember. It was in Lake City, Florida. It was a GameStop.
Oh.
And the first time I got to play the free flow fighting dynamic was so ridiculous and so cool. And now my biggest problem when going back to play that game was how awful it looked compared to Night.
Oh, yeah.
But with the Return to Arkham remaster, they did everything over. It honestly felt just like playing Arkham Knight, graphics-wise. So that was my only complaint, and it was taken out.
Yeah.
Seriously, one of my favorite games. What were the villains we had? We had
there's a rich
Joker.
rogues gallery.
We had Harley Quinn. Well, Joker, of course. Joker's the main antagonist for all
Big
of
shocker
these.
there.
All of these games. Joker, Harley Quinn. We had Killer Croc, Scarecrow, Riddler, of course,
Ivy.
Bane, and Ivy. I don't know if I'm missing any.
I feel like Zaz made a brief appearance.
Zaz did make a brief appearance.
Clayface made a brief appearance. I don't know if you remember
I
that.
don't think he did in the first one.
Yeah, he did. Well, it was more like an Easter egg. He was
like
every time you'd go by.
Oh,
his
you know
cell-
what? I have that.
Yeah.
He was Warden Sharp. You had to go save
Yeah,
Sharp.
it was awesome.
Fuck, how did I forget my own notes?
And then you'd go back and you'd be Gordon or somebody like
yeah,
that.
yeah, that was really cool. So what I did is, just like most of our things, I wrote down a whole bunch of notes. You hear my flippy floppies from the notebook, and we're just kind of gonna go through the game. Maybe not take 10 years to do it, but we're gonna go through the game and kind of comment on it as we go. So it ultimately was a much shorter game than the other ones, but it had a really phenomenal story, I think.
Yeah.
And like I said, it introduced you to that free flow fighting style.
Yeah, that was I hate to say it because it sounds like a pun, but that was a game changer. Like so
Yeah.
many games mimic, try to imitate that, and it.
For sure.
It's awesome. I mean, you start getting good at it, you can just take on 30 people without stopping or getting hit. It's
Well,
pretty
and
great.
somebody once told me they were like, they felt it was too easy, which if you
up the difficulty, dude. It ain't
yeah,
that
if
easy.
you have it on the easiest mode, yes. And they're like, but that's the thing is you can fight like 30 people and win. And I'm like, yeah, but you're fucking Batman. Like, what are you
what do you
expecting?
want? You're supposed to be able to beat the game.
This isn't year one Batman. This is like grizzled. I've done things. He has Oracle in his ear the whole game.
Yeah.
So shit has happened already. Barbara Gordon has already been shot. I mean, like, this is not new Batman.
Yeah.
He's at the point where he can take on 30 thugs.
And you can tell, like, I love the opening cinematic of the game. Like,
That's what I was just about to talk about.
it's just like it's kind of like what you said. Like, he's a hardened veteran Batman because
Yeah.
he brings Joker, and it's probably the 30th time he's done it. And he's like, I'm tired of
yeah.
your shit.
Yeah.
He just throws him in the door, and he's like, whatever, let's just do this.
And the Joker, my favorite part through most of that is the Joker's witty little shit comments as you're taking him through Arkham. And he's, I think there was one, he goes, I really need to get me a new pair of shoes. And I die every time he says that shit. Mark Hamill is so phenomenal.
I was going to say, let me jump in real quick and say, how awesome is it that they got Hamill and Conroy, to do the whole series? Well, Origins was different by design, which is great.
Yeah, well, they
and
couldn't
got
do younger
excellent
versions
people
of themselves,
to do
really.
those voices, but
Yeah.
that is amazing that they got
Yeah.
Conroy and Hamill to do this whole series, start to finish.
Everybody who knows me knows that I'm so obsessed with Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy both as a duo. They've been my Batman and Joker my entire life, since Batman the Animated Series. So I don't have another one. I will say on the Batman spectrum. So I've never had another, when I'm reading comic books, I've never had another Joker voice in my head. But I feel like I'm cheating on Kevin Conroy because lately when I'm reading Batman's voice, it's I don't even know his name, but it's the voice actor. No, fucking God, no. It's the voice actor from the recent animated Justice League movies, like the one from Justice League Dark, who just had he just has
Oh,
this
he's
somber...
the same one that did Under the Red Hood.
Yeah.
He's very good. I
Very
love
good.
That guy. I know who he is because I always know he is, if you saw the newest Star Trek movies, He's Kirk's like father figure, the one that recruits
Really?
him. Yeah, that's him.
That's him.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's
I
very good Batman.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He's
He
awesome.
yeah, so very very good. He's been in Justice League Dark. He was in Justice League War, Throne of Atlantis, all those kind of all the Teen Titans ones that have been coming out.
Yeah, it's odd when because every now and again they do change up the voice actor. When I feel like they're getting a role,
Well, and I think that it's just because well, if we're being honest, and I don't think this is true just cuz I do my own voice acting and I kind of know how the community goes, but I don't know what they're getting paid. Maybe sometimes Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill have too high of a
oh no, I don't mean
know.
them. Like I don't expect them to do. I thought it was great when they did the Killing Joke.
Oh,
That
you
was
just mean
awesome.
that like we're in the DC animated universe
So-
and randomly it'll be a different person?
Yeah, so like they'll have the guy we were just discussing, and
Yes.
then every so often it'll be somebody else. And
I don't
just
know. He's
why.
been pretty consistent through these. The ones that I thought were weird was like Justice League Gods and Monsters. You remember that one? It was
Yeah,
the,
but that was like a one-off.
it was the alternate universe.
And I was actually surprised how good it was.
Michael C. Hall played
Dexter?
Batman. Yeah, Dexter played Batman.
He did, didn't
and I
he?
hated it. I hated everything about that movie.
Dude, what's the guy's name? Chris Klein? No, not Chris Klein. Who's the guy that does Superman? Oh my god! Oh, I just remember him
I don't
from.
know.
Oh dang it! I remember him from Can't Hardly Wait. I don't know if you saw that movie.
No
You're a little
idea.
younger than me.
You're stuck.
I'll have to look this guy up, but he plays Superman's voice, and it is hilarious.
Fair enough.
Anyways,
The all right, so we start with Joker getting dragged through Arkham, and we're walking him through to the maximum security wing, right? And tell me how phenomenal. Do you remember like that first time we got to that stop, and the elevator in front of you is getting stuck, and you just see
Yeah.
the top of Killer Croc?
yep.
So you see Killer Croc, he's like, "I smell you,
And
Batman."
you realize that he's the size of like a king shark mixed with rhino.
Oh yeah,
He's a
huge.
behemoth.
Huge, and I love that. That's the kind of it's like I can't stand when there's a small Grundy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like there are iterations of Grundy where he's like man sized. He's just like super strong or something. But no, that's another thing the Arkham games got right. Later in the Arkham series, you have this big, terrifying, monstrous Grundy who's just pulling cleavers out of his chest
Yep.
and like assaulting you with them, and that's really cool. But the Killer Croc was super cool. And then right after Killer Croc, and he's doing all his shit talking, you go into the elevator, and the lights flicker and go out, and you just hear the Joker laugh, and then and the lights come back on, and Batman's just holding him at his throat.
Yeah.
And it's the cinematics just in the opening of this game put you in the perfect mindset, in the perfect mood. That is why this game is my favorite.
You get lulled in quick.
Yeah,
like it does
nothing
right from the bat. Or, whoop,
Nothing
right off
like
the bat.
the first game puts you in that arena of headspace where you are just so excited, you're so enveloped. I mean, man, I go nuts. I play this game over and over and over, and I've beaten like Arkham Knight like 3 or 4 times. Beaten Arkham City only twice because it's my least favorite. And
that one.
Origins, you cannot get Origins for PS4 for some reason.
I know. I plugged in when I did my run of all the games.
Yeah.
I was excited to plug in my PS3 and play Origins, and I honestly forgot how good it was.
I
was
can't
like,
believe
oh
that they
my gosh.
didn't redo it, or
Yeah, I was happy to see there's a lot of people upset about that because when they were doing the collection,
right.
everybody kind of thought you were getting all of them. Like you would get
Oh,
all
you're
4.
talking about when they did the Master Collection?
Yeah, so they did Return to Arkham, which was just the first two. And then
But
when
they
they
had
did the
one.
Master one, I thought like a lot
I
of people
thought that
did.
they
we're
had
getting
all
of them.
4 in that. They didn't have all 4?
Nope,
That's
just the
horseshit.
Rocksteadies.
That's crazy. So they were
Yeah.
able to take Arkham Asylum and City and bring it to PS4.
Well, they would probably have to split proceeds and stuff with.
Is it
WB
just because it was a
Montreal.
WB Games and not a Rocksteady?
Probably.
Man, that sucks.
Maybe there's some logistics behind it that would make it a pain in the butt.
Who knows? But
I was deeply hurt
Yeah.
by it.
I mean, I really have been dying to play Origins again, and I haven't had the chance. But
so good.
the
Just to let you know, I'm super excited for that episode that we do.
for when we do Origins.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, just so you guys know, Matt is going to completely take the helm on that because I don't remember Origins nearly as well as he
I'm
does.
actually going to recite the entire dialogue. Of the game. Quick
gonna do all the
plot
voices.
twist, though. I'm going to do it backwards and in Spanish.
That's fantastic.
So, you know.
That's please don't do that. So we then get to the Joker who you're kind of having your small talk with Commissioner Gordon. Again, another great voice actor, really kind of nailed Commissioner Gordon.
Yep.
And he's like, this was too easy. The whole time, by the way, the entire time the Joker is talking shit and giving you hints that he's gonna break down. Like, he's like, I have a plan. And I think there was one line where he was literally like, isn't it weird that all of my guys, there was a fire at Blackgate and they all got moved to Arkham Asylum right before I got caught? Isn't that strange? And Batman was like, yeah, that is fucking strange. Here you go.
You can tell, like, it's like he knew from the second they walked in. He was like, ah, crap.
But he didn't do anything. He just handed him. He was like, "Oh, he's here in intensive treatment, the place he's broken out of many times before."
Yeah. Although I will say, I don't know if you agree, but like every time I redo that part of the game, I really do feel that the Joker got over on him. Like for a split second, he tricked him just long enough to get him where he wanted to go.
I think I may be making jokes, but I don't think they made Batman look stupid by any means.
No. Because once he realizes it, you can tell. Like he's like,
because
crap.
What do you get? And I have it written down. You have that Batman glass punch because he breaks free.
That's so awesome.
He slits the throat of the doctor,
Yep.
right? And he's like, aha, I had a plan the whole time. And Harley Quinn, baby, get on the television. And she's like, come on in, Puddin'. And then Batman goes, glass punch, and just like cracks that
glass
thing.
can hold me.
But, I think it's crazy because in our heads, maybe not. In my head, I had the whole time like, that's like safety glass. I can't believe he just cracked that.
Oh, yeah,
with
it's
his
like
fist.
24-inch ballistic
like,
proof.
that's like
and
ballistic glass. That's fucking nuts.
That is an awesome scene, though. I actually kind of forgot about that until you just mentioned it when he busts through that glass to get him. And he almost gets him, but how funny would that be as he gets through the glass, gets him, and the credits roll.
So the next, 15 minutes or so, it's just you kind of getting used to controls, right?
Yep.
So it introduces you to that free-flow fighting system.
Because they do it right then and there, because you get ambushed, right in that room.
No, yeah, so you're in
it's
that
just right
room.
off
He
the
breaks
bat.
through the glass. You're in that room. Joker goes behind the laser shield door.
Yeah, because
which
it's
I
very
love.
advanced in Arkham.
But it felt very Gotham. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that. So they did. That's a thing I think they did perfectly. Just the tones of these games.
Yeah.
It felt very Arkham. It felt very Gotham. It never felt like, you remember when we were talking shit about the Dark Knight movies when they 1 minute it felt Metropolis and the next minute it felt like the Narrows.
Yeah.
You didn't get that. You had that perfect kind of just vibe the entire time you were doing the games. And I think that he gets behind the laser door and you get introduced to the fighting system just off the bat. Now, luckily, the minute the first guy runs up to you, everything goes slow-mo and it's like, hey, press this button to maybe not. And then
That's how Batman's brain works. Is
Right.
When somebody swings on him, he has a thought where it's like, I should.
Well, so how much
dodge.
do you think that was influenced by you remember the Sherlock Holmes movies with
Robert Downey Jr. Where he does
those came out the first one at least came out before Arkham Asylum, I think.
I'm not sure, but now that you brought it up, those are really cool sequences.
They're
'cause
really
he just
neat
breaks
sequences.
it down just bit by bit.
Yeah.
And those are fantastic.
Well, and I think that there's that thing that says when you're confident in something or you have enough practice, everything does turn to slow mo because
Right.
you're just so used to it that your brain is a couple steps ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But so you're getting used to the fighting system, and then you move to honestly down the hall. You see the Joker teeth, you break them with the batarangs because you're like, I wonder what these do.
Yeah.
And then it's like, hey, an achievement. You meet the guards, and they're like, Zaz broke out, and he's gonna kill my buddy Jerry if you don't do something about it.
Not on my watch.
Yeah. he's like, just stay here, and I'll go get him.
Yeah.
So but it's cool because you get that same thrill of like, oh, this is Victor Zsasz, right? If you
Yep.
knew who Victor Zsasz was, and you get excited. You're
You
like,
feel very Batman-y in
Yeah.
that sequence because you do. Like, he's like, I see, because he sees Batman. He's
Yes.
like, I see you. If you make a move, like, I'm gonna kill this guy. And then you get to stalk up in
so yeah, you get to introduce then to the aspect of
Gargoyles.
we're gonna go up to the gargoyles, get around him, drop down, and be badass Batman.
Yep.
And it's just so cool because you feel Batman. So that was a really quick sequence. You dispatch of Zsasz real quick,
Yep.
and then I think the only next thing is you hear Harley over the intercom talking a little shit, and you're like, how do I get out? I don't know about you. The first time I played it, no fucking idea. I was standing there for like 5 whole minutes until I realized I could do stuff to the crates or to the vents.
Oh, yeah.
So you go to
Pull 'em
one vent and it just has a Riddler trophy in it. You go to the next one, it gives you your pathway out.
Which they just have so many strategically placed ventilation
Yeah.
shafts, and thank goodness for that. Otherwise, he may not have been able to complete the plot.
I think that as much as you're right in how funny that is, it never felt forced.
No,
And it
felt right.
also gave you a little bit. It was never handed to you. Maybe sometimes it was handed to you, but not all the time. It was just handed to you. So you did feel like you had to think. Like how many times you had to like look around real quick and be like, oh shit, what is? Oh, there's a vent.
Well, this was really the only entry in the series that was kind of linear in a sense, because it wasn't really open world. Like,
No,
of
yeah, it
course,
was
you get to
very
that
linear.
point where you're outside.
It
and
was
you can decide
very,
what you want to do. But
very
it's
linear.
pretty
You went in
linear.
a straight line the whole game. You went through the story, which I appreciate because I like a good story. And I think one of the problem with Arkham Knight and Asylum was that you could get lost in the side missions. You could get a little lost. So there would be times where like you're, the Scarecrow in Night had did he kidnap Gordon first, or he had Barbara? No, he had Barbara.
he got
So he
Barbara.
kidnapped Barbara, and like you're doing 30 other things, and by the time you get back to Scarecrow, you're like, she'd be dead by now.
Oh yeah.
She'd
Yeah,
be
and
so
it's funny
dead.
because you've played the game for 40 hours and
Yeah.
you realize you haven't even started the story, and you're like, oh crap.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're so overpowered by then, you're just like, okay.
But it's it was really cool. So the Victor Zsasz cameo was awesome because I think he's such a compelling character in general, and I think he was a little part of City, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't remember.
Yeah, because he did the
phone
pay
calls.
phones.
Yeah, the
where you
phone
had
call
to
thing.
rush over to him.
Which again we'll get back to.
We don't
when
want to
do
spoil
that.
the cool plot points. Of
Yeah,
the
I know.
games.
It's hard not to draw parallels though.
Yeah. Well, sure, you can draw perpendicular. You don't have to draw parallel.
You're such an asshole.
Sorry, man.
Yeah. So the next meeting with the Joker, is also a really just cool scene because you get introduced to the Titan formula, right?
Oh, I'll save it.
You get introduced to the Titan monsters, and it's like these are the easiest things in the world
Just
to
these
not.
Gollum abomination from
Yeah.
the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton looking fellas.
It's like, hey, I'm just gonna run at you really hard. If you get out of the way, I'm gonna keep on running.
Yep, and
But
then I'm
what's-
gonna ride on your back and make you beat up the other one.
He's like, if I smack into a wall, just help me out. And it was really funny, but it was also a really cool. It was just like the Dark Knight scene where he was like, come on, hit me. He was standing on that metal. I guess it was like a prison cell, like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like the hanging prison cell.
Yeah, and it's
he's like,
pulling him away.
yeah, and he's like, you got one chance, Bats. Take me out. Drop me to my death. He's
Yep.
telling him,
Daring him.
kill me. And I think that's just so neat. I
that's
love that
There's
scene.
a lot of great cinematic scenes in this game.
Yeah, there
'Cause
really
it's
are.
It's more personal. Well, the other ones are too, but since, like I said, the setting is more contained.
I don't even
it's
want to
just
say
more-
that versus the other games. I think all of these games had really great, whether it was side missions or story missions, really great cinematics just in general. And I think, to your credit, because I know Origins is your favorite, I think Origins has the best cinematics.
that
out of-
Deathstroke fight was the best thing that any of the games produced.
I just think even but do you remember the opening sequence? It was so ridiculously badass.
Yeah.
I think that and the introduction, very Suicide Squad-esque to the
Oh, to the-
assassins on his
yeah.
list where it's going through them.
That is good.
Yeah, very cool. So fast forward from the Joker, he got away and you had to fight the Titan monster and all that kind of good shit. So fast forward and you get introduced to the island finally. You get a little bit of fresh air.
Which that junk is so awesome when he mentions he's like, let me go to the cave on the island, and you're
Oh,
like, what do
yeah.
you mean the cave? And then he dives off.
Yeah,
You're like, oh,
he dives off of the
this is
cliff.
awesome.
and I thought, gosh, I have that written somewhere. I think
How cool is
think
that?
that's
That
a
he had
little
a
later,
he had a bat cave.
yeah, he had a fucking back, and the Oracle was like, "You built it? How did you build this?" He was like, "Yeah, I just moved stuff here over time." And he's like, "It's actually just finally finished. It's so crazy. I get to use it already."
Just great price on real estate. over
Oracle was like, "When did you? Oh, you were like 6 years old, I think, when I started this. Like, don't worry about it."
there. You were walking when I started. Oh, sorry, Barbara.
Which again, I think the island is pretty underwhelming now, but man, again, if you're just nostalgia purposes flashing back to when you were young and this first came out, it was so cool because he steps up on that ledge and you just see the whole island in front of you, or at least the whole Arkham North, I think, is where you come out of. and you see like the Arkham Mansion and the sniper guard towers and all that stuff. And at this point, there's still guards everywhere. You feel relatively safe. All the snipers are on your side, right? Not the case later in the game.
Right.
And that fucks you up a lot.
Was that the first time you could glide in the game?
Yeah, very first time.
Because I don't think they let you. I mean, you know that you'll be able to glide at some point, but I don't think you were able to glide at all.
So most of the gliding came from if you got up to one of the vantage points.
Yeah.
And you were. So I think all of my gliding in that game consisted of like getting over. Like there's a part later where all of the seriously crazy rabid lunatics that were kept in those like little hole cells, they're out, and you just didn't want to fucking deal with them. So you're at the top of one of the towers, and you're like, how many of these can I glide over so I don't have
make
to
it across? Please make it across.
Yeah, like
Crap.
how many of these do I have to? After that, so you kind of go to the medical facility, right? And that was the first time they have, I think, three or four doctors. 4 doctors total, because one of them's there in the room with you. You had these 4 doctors that were taken hostage. And it was the first time that you really got the Predator mode of, I'm up on these. So you were introduced to the gargoyles with Zaz, but now you got to pick them off one by one.
Yeah, they showed you that you're going to have to strategize in this game because they put you
Yeah.
in some scenarios where it's like you can't just drop down there because they will blow you away.
And you were super limited in this one compared to future installments on what, like, the fanciness of what you could do.
Right.
But you still had so many options. And I think that when you become kind of a veteran of these games, you start to have a lot of fun with, all right, so I see a guy over there and a guy over here. If I fucking batarang this one and I make that one run too, you just set up like all these strategies. And I think I had a lot of fun. That was one of my favorite parts. And sometimes I remember one, because I was so obsessed with never getting detected, I would play the same thing for like an hour and I would not make a move. I'd be sitting there staring. And my brother used to get so mad at me because he'd be like, dude, fucking do something. And I'm like, no. They're not in position yet. Like,
Yeah, see, and I'm kind of I'm completely different because I'm more like, all right, I'm going down. If I get spotted, I'm like, whatever. I'll just
take
gonna
a couple
fight all
bullets.
of these guys. I don't care. Which is cool in this one because I feel like everybody picks up real fast that if you get spotted, if you go up one gargoyle, you're still going to get lit up. So everybody does this dance where you go between 3 or 4 gargoyles real quick.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they just lose you because
Yeah.
you're just that elusive.
And
But-
it's not even that dark up there.
Nope. And
So,
you
like,
could go right back.
Yeah.
You could go back and forth, and they're like, we lost him. He's gone.
I think that's great because it really wasn't that dark that they would just completely lose sight of you.
No, because it's like you would look up and be like,
Yeah,
I see
like,
you.
oh, hey, I see that large man-sized mass just traveling from this gargoyle to that one. I wonder where he could be.
Where'd he go?
I thought it was cool that you could get those later, like the upgrade to your tech, where even if they looked at it, if you just stayed still. You remember with the goggles, like the special goggles, even if they looked at it, they couldn't see you. I thought that was pretty cool. But
Did they did in Asylum later in the game where they would rig the gargoyles, right? Like if you jumped on them, they'd blow up. Yeah,
know-
they did. That
Did
was
they?
Asylum. Yep.
I don't remember actually.
Yeah, because
I
later
feel
in the
like
game,
that
they're
didn't
like,
come
"Oh,
in
we got
until
you."
City actually, because I feel like that was no, they did. I do
Yeah.
remember it because it was they even did it in the first room where you heard the Riddler's voice for the first time. It was that big open room, and when you drop down to that picture of Quincy Sharp, you remember you hear the Riddler's voice. They did it in that room, I think, where they throw bombs up there.
Which I'm glad you finally brought him up.
That's the fucking X-Files.
It's the Riddler.
That's not the Riddler.
It's the Riddler. Anyways, but his involvement,
I need to get mileage out of this soundboard.
I do. I'm just getting started.
I really hope that we don't even know if the mic is really picking it up that well. I hope it is.
I do too.
Truly hope
That's
it is
really
picking
my
it up.
only hope of this whole episode. But no, the Riddler's involvement throughout the entire series is just, it's cool because I don't know if you ever actually physically see him
Yeah,
in
you do.
person.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, but not until like Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight.
I'm
And
just
you-
saying, but that's crazy.
you and
He's
Selena.
in every single game.
I will say that I
He's a
wish they had
huge
been,
factor.
and I know this may sound shitty, from just a person who doesn't create these games.
Mm-hmm.
Like I find it hard to critique art when you can't do what they do. You know what I
Right.
mean? But I wish they had been a little more creative with the Riddler instead of the same shit like every game.
Yeah, but those things in themselves were pretty creative.
They were pretty creative. Like
and
Night was creative,
infuriating.
but I think it was more infuriating in a good way, I guess. Like I'm with you.
I
you
never
know?
completed the Riddler challenges in any of the games.
I did. And fun fact, I don't know why they have the percentage bars, because in Arkham Knight, if you finish the whole story and all of the Riddler challenges, you're at 125%.
Nice.
I don't know why.
Because they don't expect you to finish
There's
it.
nothing that gets you to only 100%. So you're automatically, and then you can buy the DLC that gives you those 4 amazing extra side missions.
Right. Oh,
The
yeah.
Mr. Freeze and the Killer Croc and the dude, those ones were dope. And
Yes,
that puts you to like 145%. So nothing rounds up or equals to anything. It makes no sense.
Well, that game was interesting, too, because it was like, okay, well, technically, you can end the game now. But if you beat it all, you can end it even more.
Well, and is that... Oh, yeah, because you had to go...
The Nightfall Protocol, baby.
That's bullshit, though, because you beat it all and you get the Nightfall Protocol, which was awesome. And it gave you one... By the way, beating all the Riddler challenges gave you a 10-second extra scene after what you already saw.
I just YouTubed it.
Not
I was like,
worth
no
it.
way.
It was so not worth
But
it.
we'll cover that when we get to Arkham
But
Knight this November.
I'll tell you, just across the games in general, DLC, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it, right? And the wrong way, as we've seen with EA Sports, is you don't pay to win. You know, you have successful games like Fortnite and Apex and stuff like that. You get a lot of DLC, but it's all skins and it's all just cool shit. But it doesn't make you a better player, right? So you don't pay to win. Arkham, all the Arkham games did pretty well in that, because later at past Arkham Asylum, you got the DLC where you could play as the Dark Knight Returns Batman. You could play as Ben Affleck's Batman. You could play as, I think my favorite one was Flashpoint Batman. You could play as the Yellow Lantern Corps Batman, which was awesome. A really fucking the Fear Corps Batman.
Yeah, whoever stumbled, like when they got to Arkham City, whoever in that boardroom was like, "Oh, dude, let's just litter them with awesome skins."
Yeah,
and heck, we can even charge them for them, and they'll buy them. And
Batman Beyond.
Yeah, that was cool.
You got the Batman Beyond skin in Arkham City, and what that was the cool thing about if you get Return to Arkham. They give you all the DLC with it. So I played the whole game as Batman Beyond and as the Sinestro Corps one.
Dude, I love the Sinestro Corps Batman.
Yeah, that was a really cool one.
Sick.
And you know, but those are the right kind of DLC that you want, because if it makes it too easy, or especially in an online situation, if it makes you a better player than everyone else because you fucking paid for it, that's bullshit.
Fun.
So
yeah, you're right. They added to the enjoyment of the game itself and the story. And like you said, in Arkham Knight, it literally added to the story.
Yeah.
And it was amazing content, so it was worth every penny.
100%. So I really appreciate that. So
Asylum didn't have DLC, right? They weren't on that train yet.
I don't think it.
I
think that what it may have had was
challenges.
The fighting challenges, you know? I think that's it. And I don't even know if that was DLC. I think that was still technically unlockable content.
That's true. I don't think they
had DLC. But the next big thing that happened in the game, so you go to the medical facility, right? We just talked about that, and you get to stalk and do your Predator mode. And then you beat all them, and you have to go down those 3 pathways and find the doctors. And once you get to the third one, my favorite thing in the game, my second favorite thing in the game, you get introduced to like the Scarecrow.
I was
right?
Gonna say, is this the morgue scene? Scared the crap out of me the first time.
Okay, so not just the morgue scene, but you hear over the intercom, Barbara is like, my dad was just kidnapped, right? So they took Commissioner Gordon.
Oh, that's right, because you don't realize he's tripping.
Right, so
awesome.
you're walking down this hallway and you find a dead Commissioner Gordon in the hall, and he's like, they just killed him, and he won't tell. Barbara's like, is everything okay? He's like, it's fine. I'm gonna find your father. Batman's a fucking liar.
And then
by
he
the
starts
way.
monologuing. He's like, oh God,
Yeah.
I'll have to tell her later.
But you find a dead Commissioner Gordon, and he closes his eyes with his fingers, and it's just so crazy. And then all of a sudden, you start realizing that the hallway's tilting sideways.
You're tripping.
Yeah, and you see all the cockroaches, filling the hall, and that's what I'm talking
It's
about.
so subtle too, like you just said. It just started happening, and you're like, and they hit you hard. You're like, whoa, what is this? Because you had no idea that was coming.
Yeah.
You really don't know what it is. I mean, we figured it was probably Scarecrow after a certain amount of time, but that was sick.
And this is a pretty good mixture of the Scarecrow. If you guys listened to the last episode, what we were talking, was it the last episode? No, the episode 2 episodes ago, The Dark Knight, when we were talking about Scarecrow. That is a perfect example of what I love in the Scarecrow, because he was a crazy son of a bitch, but he still was a doctor at some point, right?
Right.
I think if any game nailed it, it was Arkham Knight. Perfect.
He's so awesome, and they got the
perfect
guy
Scarecrow.
from Fringe to
Yeah.
do Scarecrow.
Yes.
He was so creepy.
This one was just a little zany, but the Freddy Krueger needle hands.
Yeah, that is awesome.
That
The
was
syringe fingers.
dope as shit.
Yeah, that was
Like, are you kidding me?
awesome.
I loved everything about that. So you get in the Scarecrow sequence, and it's not just any sequence, right? It's kind of this whole completely different thing to the rest of the game, where
Oh, it's nuts. You fight the 100-foot tall Scarecrow and all that stuff.
yeah, it's like 100 foot tall, and you have to avoid his gaze, and you're going through this obstacle course. Man, that's such a cool sequence, and then it's so scary. I remember the first time I got caught, and he goes, "I got you, Batman," and his hand comes down and completely
Yeah, because he
wonks
does
you.
this creepy, like he dips around the corner, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, God. But does he do the morgue part before that or after? Because that scared me to death.
That's the second. So there's 3 in this game.
Okay, so we'll get to that then. But
So that was the second. You know what? Let's just, because I don't remember actually. Let's just talk about it now. So let's say you find dead Commissioner Gordon, and then you get to the end of the hall, and it's the morgue, right?
this part just
So not
was
only
killer.
is it, so you walk in and it's just a regular morgue, nothing fishy. You walk around it, and this is my favorite thing about it. You walk around it and nothing happens, and you're like, this is fucking weird. So you walk out. And when you walk out, you actually walked back in.
Yep.
And now all the doors are fucking flapping and
Or then-
everything. You just hear moans and all this crazy shit.
I hate sequences like this in games because, like, I'll stand there and spin my character around real fast because I'm like, please just get through whatever this is, because things will subtly change every time you turn your head.
Yeah.
And you know you're about to get a jump scare, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, no.
It was so anxiety inducing.
But it was great.
I think even the Scarecrow gameplay was very anxiety inducing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go, and then you walk out again, and you walk into another silent morgue, except you see 3 bodies
Mm-hmm.
laying on the operators' tables, or on the. So you go and open it up, and it's Martha Wayne.
Martha.
Martha.
Why'd you say that name?
Then you turn and you open the other one, and it's his father, Thomas Wayne. And then what's the third one? It's the fucking Scarecrow. And he comes out and stabs you in the neck with the syringes.
Which, like you said, with the Freddy Krueger style syringe hands,
Yeah.
it's so I like it because it made it like, how do I put that? Well, I'll just say it. It was violent when he dosed him. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't like a just spray him. He like,
And even though we got a much more intelligent and sinister Scarecrow in Arkham Knight, we still got the syringe fingers. Because I still
they
remember
knew they were
at
on
the
gold
end,
when they did that. They're like, this is sweet.
it was so genius.
But
when
yeah,
they
when
did
he
that.
pops out from under the
Yeah.
and he gets you, that scared the bejesus out of me the first time.
Yeah, so it was very cool. So then you go through the avoiding his stare, and I loved it. I loved everything about it.
It was very. Did you ever play any of the Max Payne games? I don't know if you would have.
I remember Max Payne. I don't know if I ever played them.
So it reminded me of the first Max Payne, which was and I'm not going to go off on a tangent here. There's
Is that
a point
Mark
to this.
Wahlberg? Who played Max Payne?
In the movie? Yeah, he did.
That was Mark Wahlberg? Okay.
Yeah. But in the first Max Payne, it was super noir. It's crime drama. Family was murdered. Blah blah blah. But there's scenes where he's like tripping in his own
Right.
depression, and he's literally walking down blood trails and like this black abyss, and then he'll go through his own house and see his family. That's what that reminded me of, because when he starts tripping on the fear toxin, it gets wild.
Yeah,
Because
that's
what's
what I'm
that
saying.
scene where you're walking down the hallway, and then all of a sudden it starts raining, and then lightning flashes, and then you're in the alley, and then lightning flashes again,
that
and you're
was,
little Bruce Wayne.
Arkham City, my friend.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure.
No, that's Asylum, where
you
he's
sure?
walking down the hallway and that happens.
Was it? Me thinks you're a liar. No, it was, because it was in the Arkham Mansion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just think about what you're saying before you say it.
Fuck you. Matt has this uncanny memory that and again, anybody who does know me in real life, I don't remember anything. I never have. That's why I write these notes, because I would never be able to keep up with the conversation or lead the conversation or do anything without writing shit
Well,
down.
I'm on your team, man, so this is all...
You are a bully and a bad man. And Matt's mom, I know you're listening.
Shut it.
This guy is He's hurting my feelings. So
Where do you
right
think
after
I learned it from? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. My mom is great. She's a sweet woman. I love you, Mom.
the so right after Scarecrow, like almost immediately after Scarecrow, you get to meet Bane, right?
Yeah, that's where he's strung up, right? And they did the good old, he's a scrawny dude, and you get to see him get pumped
Right.
up.
Okay.
It's
So
pretty cool.
that's right. So you're going to save Gordon. So
Yes.
you have to go. You find the pipe tobacco by the Batmobile.
Oh, that's right, because they, like we were talking about in the movies, they never have exploited the detective side. They did a great job in these games.
Great job.
Because, yeah, you analyze, like, freaking pipe smoke and footsteps, and you had to, I mean, granted, you go in a straight line, but it was pretty cool. You were just, like,
Yeah.
analyzing.
Who cares? You got to be a detective.
Well, it felt cool because, like, the gadgets in this game were great, and then
Yeah.
when you use the HUD and the Predator mode, like,
Yeah.
you could see it analyzing stuff.
and it
was
changes
awesome.
like through the ultraviolet spectrum and all that, and just
You
kinda,
feel like, you literally feel like the Predator. That's
feels
I mean, it's
so
it's pretty
surreal
cool.
when you're doing it. I absolutely love it.
And the little codes that you have to break with the words. I love that. They did that in all the games where it would be the silly words you have to line up.
Yeah,
to
there was
open the
one.
doors.
I don't remember if it was City or which one that had the. It wasn't the words. It was like. I think it was City. You just had to find the coordinate numbers. I don't remember. It was not as good. I do like the words. I like the cryptograph words.
Yeah.
That
those are
one.
fun.
Those ones are fun.
And you
So-
get a lot of Easter eggs and little funny little stuff.
Yeah, it's like if you're at the what was it? The Riddler, like the word is like dumbfounded or enigma or just something, stupid.
They did a lot of fan service in these games.
They had a lot of fan, which is not a bad thing in these kinds of games.
So I'll just go ahead and say it because I can't remember if it's City or Night
Right.
or Origin, so it doesn't really matter. But speaking of just being littered with amazing Easter eggs and just, like I said, fan service throughout this series,
Right.
they did something that just blew me away.
What's that?
There is a letter that you can find on a desk, and it's from Andrea Beaumont.
Really?
And for those of you who don't know, and this is like my favorite Batman tale ever, Mask of the Phantasm, Andrea Beaumont
You're
was the
obsessed.
Phantasm, and it's cool. It's like a goodbye letter
Right.
from Andrea, and at the bottom it says Andrea Beaumont, and I was like, wow, they even went that far. Because I was praying that they would put the Phantasm in Arkham Knight. I was like, just do it. That would be so cool.
I think that would have to be its own story, though, right?
I think they could have done a good side villain because
Kinda
they
like,
did a great job
Azrael.
with side.
They could
Yeah,
have done it
because
kinda like-
Azrael and Phantasm are similar.
They're super similar, right?
Yeah.
I have to watch that again. It's been a while. But yeah, I think that they
Order
did.
of
So one
Jamal.
of my favorite fan servicey things from Asylum, especially, was they did in the Arkham Mansion. They had like you can come to the cases. Like Warden Sharp is such a that he had like
Oh, jeez.
the cases that were like lined with he had Riddler's or I'm sorry, Penguin's umbrellas, and then he had one that was like Catwoman's claws and her goggle. Like he just had all these different villain stuff in these cases in the Arkham Mansion down the hallways.
That was in that game too.
Yeah, that was.
I know
Asylum.
in Night they have the whole thing in the GCPD.
No, that's the
Which is
GCPD.
really
This
cool.
one was in the Arkham Mansion.
Oh, cool.
Or in the leading to the warden's office and stuff.
Sweet.
And it was really cool.
And how about speaking of the Riddler and stuff? Because not only were there the challenges, well, they're all challenges, but like you have the trophies, you have the I'm giving you a riddle, and you have to take a picture of some part of the environment and to solve my riddle. And then on top of that, what was it? Amadeus Arkham. Like where you had
Those
to-
were my favorite. Was
Yeah.
I don't know if you got through all of them, but the Amadeus Arkham, like finding his messages and stuff. Oh my god!
And it went so deep in the lore, like you got to know all the backstory about Arkham
Well, do you
Asylum.
remember how it turned out?
No.
So you have Amadeus Arkham. The spirit of Amadeus Arkham was possessing somebody in Arkham Asylum and was leaving these notes and these hints and these clues, right? And it was giving you this story about his father and his mother,
Right.
who were just like, it was this harrowing, awful story, who he eventually, I think, had to put his mother in the asylum, and she went mad, or she died, one of the two. She got really sick and died.
Was her
and
name Martha?
her name was also Martha. And then he went so crazy from running the asylum that he had created that he became a patient. So they had to put him. And then at the end, we're hearing this voice, and you're like, I know this voice. Why is it so familiar?
Because it's Amadeus Arkham.
It was Amadeus Arkham was possessing Warden Quincy Sharp.
See, I guess I never finished that.
So when you get them all together, it gives you this really cool explanation of the spirit of Amadeus Arkham possessing Quincy Sharp. And it's not like a big thing. You don't even have. I don't remember you even having to stop anything. It was just like
nah.
It was just Batman was like, oh no shit, like that's pretty cool.
It's like the big reveal. It's like, oh, I got things to do.
If you guys can't hear that, it's crickets.
Oh, they'll hear it.
Oh, they'll hear it.
They'll hear it.
The so where did we let's see. Oh, so you find Commissioner Gordon's pipe tobacco, right? And so you go and you
Was it tobacco though?
yeah, it was that sticky icky, you know what I'm saying?
He's like, that's Gordon's purple.
that
Track
this
down
smells
Gordon's
like Gordon's
purple.
dank. Gordon? This smells like Gordon's dank. The so you go and you find him, and Harley Quinn is keeping him hostage.
Which she's so good in the series.
She's fantastic. She's
Is it,
great in everything.
Did they get come on, why am I
Tara
drawing-
Strong? No.
Yeah. They didn't get her at all?
No. She was not in any of these games.
Really?
Yeah. Surprising, right? But she was more known for Batgirl anyways. She was Barbara Gordon in the animated series.
I always knew Tara Strong as Harley.
She only played Harley Quinn in like one thing. Yeah.
Well, I have a source that can give me information. It's not Google.
My phone.
It's Google.
While you're Googling that, I'm going to go on with what happens in this kind of scene.
You
Because
do whatever you want.
I love it. He's mad at me that I disagreed about Tara Strong. The
This would be the last thing you ever do.
so you find Gordon and he's like tied up, right? And Harley Quinn is like, "Come on, take one step towards us, Bats. Try to get through this glass, and I'll shoot him or I'll bash him in the face or something." I think she has a gun, and so he's like,
your brains out, Bats.
"Yeah." So he like
That was terrible.
that was the best. You're
know what I
fantastic.
did. That
Yeah,
was
you're
terrible.
fantastic. You're
thanks.
You're my favorite voice actor.
Oh my goodness.
So you're like, oh, how convenient. There's an air vent right here, right?
Where we go to that just convenient ventilation system.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
There's an air vent right here, and I could use that. And it takes you all the way to above Harley. So you go and you land on top of where Harley is, you smash through the glass, and you save Commissioner Gordon. And if it sounds boring, it's because that was the least exciting part of this scene. What's exciting is you guys walk down the stairs and you see, and even like, I love that if you have your detective mode on, you can see through the greenhouse and just see like a body crucified in the greenhouse. And you're like, what is that? And you walk down and open the doors and you and Gordon walk in, and it's shriveled, weak Bane hanging from the rafters. And he's like, please help me, because he was deprived of venom for far too long. And then you're like, all right, we'll help. What happened? Hey, I'm Batman. I need to know these things. And Gordon's like, oh, this doesn't sound good. And so all of a sudden, Joker comes over the radio and is like, you fucked up. And, and then
Is that what he said?
No.
Is that verbatim?
Yeah, he's
Holy
like,
crap. I don't
he's
remember
like,
that.
you're gonna get baned right now, and he kicks on the venom, and Vane just starts pumping up.
Did you just call him Vane?
Did I say Vane?
Charles Vane?
I can't speak tonight. I don't know why. So Bane starts pumping up and getting. I don't like Hulk Vane. Not a big.
You said
fan.
Vane again.
What did I just? Did I say Vane again?
Yes, his name is Bane.
You
with a
guys,
B.
I'm the worst Batman fan. I don't like Hulk Bane. I don't. I don't. I never have. We've talked about this. Arkham,
See, I'm with you. Origins got the best
Origins
one. I like
had the
him.
best Bane.
I like him big. Like, don't get me wrong, a big dude, but like you said, kind of like The Rock big, not like King Kong big.
Yeah, like this was that really Grundy-esque. It's like when you
much.
think of that fat fuck from the Batman Forever. Was it Batman Forever that he was in? Yeah, and he was just so stupid. This one I wouldn't say was stupid. He was just big and clumsy, so it was really easy to get around him.
It was funny because I remember because there was this one, then City, and they carried over the same vein into City, but he was more of a side quest. But then when Origins came out and they were doing the
I
promo,
forgot that they did that in City. Yeah.
And he even had his little teddy bear and all that.
And
But,
he's like, you need to find all the Titan containers and,
yeah, and then
blow them up.
what do you know? He turns on you. But
Yeah.
when
Well,
Origins promos came out and they showed Bane,
right.
I was like, man, he looks sick. But I was so curious. I was like, how are they going to work that into the story? Which they did a great job, by the way,
Right.
for seeing him be like a big guy. And then how did he turn into this freak of nature?
Yeah.
They did a good job transitioning into that.
So do you think that Bane that we get in Origins is early Bane and he's just destined to eventually see, his quest for being stronger and more power turns him into this Bane that we get in Asylum and City? Or do you think he's meant to be, because again, in the current Batman run, this is like modern time. This isn't old. Like, we're not looking at year one anything.
Mm-hmm.
And Bane is very much like Origins. He's big and intimidating, but he's so smart and calculated and more stealthy than you would anticipate.
I'm a sucker for the Origins, Dark Knight Rises, like where they
Yeah.
make him out to be a mercenary.
Yeah.
And like he's just very smart in his warfare tactics, and
Yeah.
he just happens to be big,
I mean, he is a
but
mercenary.
he's just deadly.
He is 100% a mercenary from Santa Prisca, and he is frightening. And I think that's my favorite
Do
type
you like
of Bane.
Spanish accent Bane? I love that.
Yeah, I think that
Like
it's...
Tom Hardy, obviously, he was like some sort of Kevin Costner, or I'm
English.
sorry, Sean Connery
Yeah.
vacuum
Oh my
cleaner
gosh.
robot, but which I loved.
Yeah.
But I love the Hispanic accent, like when they do
Yeah,
them
I
in
do
the
too.
games and stuff.
Again,
Love it.
a really good interpretation of everything we're saying was in the first season of Young Justice, and
oh yeah, where they go to the island.
I
they
think-
go to Pinadora or Santa Prisca.
Santa
whatever.
Prisca, Pinadora,
Pinadora.
Santa
That's
Prisca.
something.
I don't know.
There's an episode of Gotham.
They didn't
that
go
was
to
just
Santa
called
Prisca
Pinadora.
though. That's not where they went in the show. They went to a different island that
Was it called Pinadora?
I don't know, but
I'm not gonna Google it.
that Snake Clan, whoever that was, they were making like Titan essentially.
So just real quick,
Yeah.
Tara Strong was in all of the games except for Asylum. She was Harley Quinn in all of them.
No.
Yeah.
Was I that wrong?
Yeah, I had a good feeling.
Really?
Yeah, she was in all
See,
of them
I thought I
except.
looked it up and she was what you said, Asylum. It wasn't.
There's the only one she did not do it. She even did it in Origins.
That's interesting.
Tara Strong is Harley, dude. Like, don't give me that. She's known
Again,
as Batgirl.
She's
crap.
back. No, I'm sorry, she's Batgirl to me.
Well,
and
it's like
and
a-
no,
my
look,
life
hey,
mantra: somebody's got to be wrong.
fuck you. She is a great. She is my idol when it comes to voice acting. I
She's
love her
awesome.
very much.
She's so good.
I mean, like if I could pick interviews for this podcast, she would be like front of the
She's
list.
very pretty too.
Oh, gorgeous, especially for her age. I mean, she's aging wonderfully.
Yeah, she's like 112.
She
doesn't look.
She
day
looks like
over
she's
40.
30. Yeah, like she.
Oh,
is,
I'm sorry, Tara. 30.
Yeah,
She doesn't look a day
calm
over
it down,
30.
Matt. No, she's great, and that's awesome. So I'm really glad to hear that she was in the other Arkham games. But the
So where were we at in the story of this game?
I don't know. We keep getting lost.
It's hard to like try to stay linear with the plot.
Yeah, it's fine.
We should just throw out fun facts.
I think
about the
people
game.
just like hearing us babble at some point. Maybe not. Maybe that's cocky.
Maybe we could just recite a whole Eminem song, but like just in speaking
Spoken-
dialogue.
I was
yeah.
about to say spoken word, like
Yeah.
William Shatner.
Yeah, I never meant to give you mushrooms, girl. You know, I never meant to bring you to my world. You were probably 8 when his first album came.
I was younger than that. His first album was in '99, and I was born in '94. So I was.
So you were 12.
I was 5 years old.
Oh my God, you were 7 years old.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I
I was
don't know.
5 years old.
We usually do this earlier in the day. I'm tired.
You were like, "Hey, I'm gonna come over late if that's cool."
I'm having a good time.
That's fine. I have no energy.
So Bane was in the greenhouse. And,
yeah, Bane. So it was Hulk Bane.
and then he unleashes and just it's on. You're
Yes.
like, oh crap.
And he puts you right through a brick wall.
It's so cool though. Like I'm with you. I don't like Hulk Bane, but
I do
there's
like
something about that dynamic. Where
yeah,
you're fighting
there is
just
something
this
cool about
juggernaut.
like the running, charging bulldozer of a Bane that
and
was.
you just double tap X and he runs into a wall and goes, oh.
So basically the ideal here is to jump around Bane enough until you confuse him. You
And
get
he
on
never realizes he's going to hit the wall. He just charges full speed.
Well, that's just like the Titan monsters. They're like, I'm just going to keep running until I hit
Well,
something, whether
like-
it's you or the wall.
Like them, I feel like they're just kind of mindless. But
Right.
with Bane, I would think after the first time he rammed the wall, he's
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah, but that was Russian. That was not Hispanic.
Da.
Yeah, da. How cool was it though when he was ripping brick like pillars off the wall? He was like
Yeah.
ripping pieces of the support pillars off the wall and throwing them at
I
you.
do like right after he Banes up, like you said, he just
Yeah.
goes straight to work and just you kind of get this sense of I'm in trouble and I should have put it on easy.
So it was like right after that. So you're jumping on his back, right? And then you have to bust the tubes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like disconnecting the tubes. And then what is it? He puts you through another fucking brick wall, and then you're like, I was planning on it, and he hits him with the Batmobile, and the Batmobile like smacks him and sends him into the lake. So fun fact
So funny.
about that story. You have 3 big villains besides the Joker, essentially, that
Oh, you're talking about the hand.
that are of importance. So you have Bane, Scarecrow, and Killer Croc, right? That game had 3 alternate endings with only one ending being true. And all 3 alternate endings were at the end of it, you see a box of Titan floating in the water, like one of the last remaining boxes, and a hand comes up and grabs it. And in all 3, you either get Croc's hand, you get Scarecrow's hand, or you get Bane's hand. The only one that was the real ending was Scarecrow, obviously, because we see him in Night.
Was there? Do you remember what dictated what ending you got?
I don't at
don't
all.
either.
I really don't remember. And I don't know. I think it had to do with what console you were playing on or what difficulty or something. It was weird. But
I don't know, but it was cool though. I do remember that.
I remember getting the Scarecrow ending the last
I
time
did
I
too.
played.
Yeah.
That's the one that I got. And then I went on YouTube and saw the other endings.
That is so funny though, because Batman's just like, oh, I'm sick of this shit. It's with the Batmobile, and he's like, whatever.
Yeah, it was very cool. And he kept shouting the Bruja, the witch. It's Spanish for witch. And when Oracle in his ear was like, "What is the Bruja?" and he goes, "It's Spanish for witch." It was just one of the coolest like James Bondy moments in the world when he was walking away.
That went over my head.
That went over your head? Yeah, very cool.
Brouhaha.
Well, it was the Doctor. The Doctor was the witch. The Doctor was concocting the new Titan formula.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool. I love that. And so right after that, that's when you actually get to go to the caves. So you go make your way up to that cliff, you dive down, do the really cool, you're into the cave.
That was then?
That was
Oh,
when
I'm
you get
sorry.
to-
I jumped way ahead.
Yeah,
then.
that was when you
Whoa.
actually get to go to the caves.
I am
So he has the
sorry,
Bat
folks.
Caves under Arkham, which is so cool. And we already talked about this, so we don't got to go over it again. But
We can-
Oracle, I think one of my favorite parts of the game is having Oracle in your ear the whole time.
Girl in the chair.
Yeah, girl in the chair. It's but what do you got to do right after that? You got to go save Warden Sharp, right?
Always somebody to save.
You got to save because people keep getting fucking kidnapped.
It's like, dude, I'm trying to. I guess you could say the inmates are running the asylum.
Oh,
And this guy, I'm full of it tonight.
oh man, it's a long
But
Halloween.
it's like, dude, I have like a laundry list of things I need to address, and these people keep getting kidnapped within this building, and it's driving me nuts.
Well, and it's kind of like, man, I got to do this. I got a thing I got to do. But if people could just stop getting fucking grabbed, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
And Sharp got grabbed. But that's what we were talking about
He got
earlier.
got.
The really cool thing is you go to save Sharp and you get 2 things. One, you walk past Ivy and she's begging you, please, my babies are dying. I can hear them crying out to me. And you walk right past her like, bitch, swerve. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, weird flex, but okay.
Yeah, so you just kind of you're like, no, I'm not going to help you. I don't care about plants. Which is ultimately Batman's downfall when it comes. Maybe just pretend like you care about plants, Batman, because she could be, she might be a positive ally, like in Night. You know,
There's no middle ground with him. Like he's just
I know.
like, you're scum.
I know.
She's like, I was just asking what color you liked best. Just get out of my face, you're trash.
So you walk past and you go in and you're like, hey, Sharp, I'm here to save you, Sharp. You got to use the cryptograph sensor. All while you're doing this stuff to cut off the electricity and save Warden Sharp, the next thing you get is Clayface hanging out. So you see Sharp behind a cage. He's like, let me out. They trapped me. And you're like, nah, I'm smarter than that. And then Clayface is like, haha. and you turn around, you turn back around, he's a different person.
He's like, haha.
Yeah, he's just a completely different. So he turns into like Aaron Cash, who's also one of my favorite parts of these games because he is just a consistent like anchor in all of the Arkham verse.
Yeah, he is in every single one.
Yeah, Aaron Cash, good. And he loses a hand at some point, maybe
He
in
doesn't
City.
miss a beat.
Yeah, loses a hand. How fantastic. And how great. He lost a hand.
I was trying to think of a pun.
I was trying
That
to think
would
of
be
a
fun.
pun.
The first half of the day, I was rhyming like Dr. Seuss. I don't know why. I saw an episode of How I Met Your Mother last night where the whole episode was in rhyme,
Really?
and I tried to see how long I could do it all day.
It broke your brain a little bit.
No, well, yeah, but I went and practiced with my band earlier, and I was driving them nuts.
Yeah?
I mean, I was killing it, like just.
It's like Jervis Tetch, the Mad Hatter.
Yep.
Get just fucking sick of it. Just stop it. Stop talking in rhyme. But yeah, I love that. So while you're saving Sharp, Harley is like, I'm gonna let Ivy out. So right in the back room, Harley lets Ivy out. What a stinker, you know? What a little
What is this,
stinker.
1953?
Yeah.
What a stinker.
What a
Jeepers, mister.
yeah. What a rapscallion, you know?
What the scuttlebutt is going
I
on?
want the scuttlebutt. I just thought, I don't know. I have an unpopular opinion in that Ivy was kind of boring sometimes. I think that Ivy wasn't always like her. I guess her boss fight was pretty cool. I don't know. I think a lot of people disagree with me on this. I heard somebody say that they had a huge crush on Ivy when this game first came out because we were all like 11.
Yeah, I mean, they made her pretty sexy. I mean, she
they
was hot,
definitely
man.
over accentuated her femininely.
Well, that's kind of part of her character, though. Like,
I agree. I think
I
that's one
dug
of
it.
the-
I thought it was cool.
So
Like,
that's
I
a
thought it
big
was
deal going on, I think, in the comic industry now. Is that especially like Harley Quinn and Ivy themselves, they've over sexualized, and agree with it, disagree with it. Is it necessary or not? It's not. So like, I don't know. I thought that it was a lot of fun. It was a fun gameplay though. It was really. I just thought that her character wasn't fleshed out the way I'd like it. I like Ivy is one of my favorite characters.
Mhm.
I like good.
Yeah, I'm looking at my soundboard. Don't worry
You're
about
looking at my soundboard. I like good exposition from her. I like a little bit of. I don't like her just as a side character. You know what I mean? Like
You're right though. Her boss battle was pretty.
Yeah, it was
sweet.
fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
I like stuff like that.
I
It
did
was-
like though. Was I talking about this before, or did we tape it? But the fact that this game's so contained, but they did pretty well with their boss fights. Like they had some pretty large scale boss fights.
Well, that's the cool part about this game, and I think all of the Arkham games
except for
is
the
that
last one.
they gave the bosses their own domains, right?
except for the last one.
Except for the last
which was
one.
the only thing they did wrong. But we'll get there.
But, like we had, even in the last one, we had Penguin in the Iceberg Lounge. They had like their own domains where it was like, all right, one's over there, one's over here. What, they're all different. They're all in different areas and they don't want to intersect because they don't want to fight each other.
Yeah, because they're like taking their own part of the block essentially.
Yeah. So Ivy takes over the island, right? And you have to fight the annoying spores.
How did you feel about that? Like
I
the
didn't
second that happened, I was like,
I didn't mind it as much as once, like, so you can run up to the spore before it ejaculates its things, and you can punch
it's
in the
called
middle of it.
photosynthesis. Read a book.
It's pollination. So you
Don't
can,
even get me started on osmosis.
yeah. So you can punch in the middle of the spore and destroy it.
Just rip out the core.
Yeah. By the time you get to the fifth one and you've moved 10 feet, it's annoying.
You just take the damage after a while. You're like,
Yeah.
I
You
don't
just
care.
run back. You're like, whatever.
You're like, I'm on easy. I'm just running. I don't care.
It so it was cool when you got to deal with that, but what do you got to do to defeat Ivy? You got to go down and face the Croc so you can find the spores hanging from the sewers,
So
conveniently placed spores.
Second part of the game that scared the crap out of me.
Yeah,
I hated that fight.
that was fucking
That was
fever
stressful.
inducing. Yeah,
And I remember this vividly.
yeah.
When the game came out, the first time I bought it, because I've probably bought this game 3 times, I bought it on Xbox 360.
Right.
Was loving it.
Right.
Got to that point, and I poop you not, my friend. I saved it at that boss fight
Right.
where you're running from him on the planks. I
Can
died.
you save this game? Did this game have a save option?
Mhm.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, so I stopped there, died, and I was like, all right, I'm good for today. When I went back, it said corrupted save data,
No.
and that was it. It was like, do a new game. I didn't beat Arkham Asylum until years later.
Right.
I actually beat Arkham City
Yeah.
before I beat Asylum because I was so mad. Like, I was like, I'm not doing all this again.
I think I beat Arkham Knight before I beat I did beat Arkham Knight before I beat Origins. So
Origins, I couldn't stop. That was Night, I couldn't stop either.
yeah, I mean, and that was just in what was accessible to me at the time.
But I'll never forget that. I felt like I was very far into the game. In retrospect, I found out I was very far into the game,
Right.
and was close to beating it. But
I
I'll
was
never
about to say
forget
that's
that.
right towards the end of the game.
It was terrible. It literally just popped up and was like corrupted save data, start
Yeah.
new game, and I was like,
Now I will say I love Killer Croc. Killer Croc is one of my all-time favorite.
Pretty sweet.
If it's done right.
I like the one in the animated series.
I thought you were gonna say the one in Suicide Squad.
No, I like the actor that plays him. I really do.
No, wait. Oh, I don't remember who plays him actually.
Adewale.
Really?
He's the guy. He's been in all kinds of stuff. He was Mr. Echo and
Yeah, I was
Lost,
about to say. I know who you're talking about. He's
BC in the Bourne Identity.
I just think that was a really bad interpretation. He
Yeah, it
was
wasn't
like
great.
5'0" and the makeup looked terrible. That's somebody who should be big and scary, just like in the Arkham games. CGI him if you gotta.
Yeah.
Give him the Amazing Spider-Man treatment, where it's just a big CGI lizard.
Look,
I'm
like I
fine
said,
with that.
the guy underneath all that, I love him as an actor. But
Right.
yes, that was garbage, and I feel like he even knew it too, because like his performance was just like, ugh.
Yeah, but in the game, it was everything that I think you could have asked for.
Yeah,
other
like-
than a tussle with him, which is what you eventually got in Arkham Knight. So
Yeah.
that was really cool.
And it's like you said with Bane, he was a little larger than life, and he was like, all right, I'll just deal
Right.
with it. But with Croc, I loved it. Like
He
he
was
was, they were like
charging
the same
after you.
size.
It's so stressful. He's bigger than Bane.
Yeah, but I hated that because you could hear
He's
the
running
beeping on your.
right at you, and you have to you're hitting that batarang, right? So you're trying to get him in the collar, and if you're a second too late, he just gets you and drags you under, and you're like, holy shit, Batman's dead.
Which you made me think of something. In all the games, I love when you die and the cinematic where the villain that was related to your death comes up and just talks smack to you.
Yeah.
I love it.
Love it.
It's awesome.
That's a really cool, and you're absolutely right. That's one of
It's
my
so
favorite
good.
things. Whatever villain, whatever one of their henchmen or whatever arena you're around, if you lose to them,
Yep.
they'll talk some shit to you.
And it's hilarious because, like you said, you could be doing something completely unrelated
Right.
to a main villain. But if you're in their area or, like you said, their henchmen beat you, here comes
Right.
freaking Penguin strutting up. Like, oh, Batman, you piece of trash.
Yeah.
You're dead.
Love it. I love it so much. So right after that, so you basically you finish that challenge, and then you get to the Joker party, right? So that's like the last part of the
I
game.
hate this.
So let me tell you what I love about the Joker party. They spent the whole game. Every time you go through that area, they're building the entryway, right? So I every time I came through, I'd beat the crap out of the thugs who were minding their own business. They were just building. They were
Yeah, you're just like,
carpenters.
hey.
They were
Punch the crap
building
out of
this entryway. So you get, and it's a finished entryway, and you walk in the door, and there's 100 of these guys clapping for you, right?
Yep.
So you get an achievement. You can walk right through, and they won't bother you.
Yeah, well,
But you
you're-
get an achievement if you start a fight with them, and it's called Party Crasher or Party Pooper or one of those.
Yeah.
And you just take down 100 guys.
Well, your buddy that said the combat was too easy, if you were on anything other than easy mode,
yeah,
you were dying in this part.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
yeah.
Now, and don't lie, the first time you played this game, you died at that part. There's so many people.
I love it. It's so cool. It was such a fun. So then you walk in, and you have the Joker sitting on his throne, and who does he have in his lap? But Scarface, the puppet, the mafia puppet, who's just like one of the most ridiculous creatures in the Batman ethos.
My whole body language is changing because the end of this game is like the end of The Dark Knight Rises. Like, it just makes me mad.
Really?
I hate that Titan Joker.
I
crap.
love it. What are you talking about?
It's terrible.
It's awesome.
It's so stupid.
Why? He was the only one whose mind could handle the transformation. So he's still big and scary with the big claws, but he knows what's
Do
going.
I need to pull up a picture of it? Like, it looks
I think it looks awesome.
awful.
Oh, come on.
Anyway, so you go through
At
the
least he
party.
changes back. At least it's not
Yeah,
like.
I was like, okay, his body's not ravaged by this. or
And then
anything.
because of that, what did we get? But a great story arc of the sick ass Joker in Arkham City.
Yeah, but that I feel like that was all after the fact. I honestly do. I felt like they're like, oh crap, what do we do with this? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it plays into the
Well,
plot.
I think that they made this game not knowing if it was going to be popular enough.
Although there
that-
are Easter eggs for Arkham City
Yeah.
and Arkham Asylum. Found that out later.
Yeah.
That's cool. So
I-
I feel like they always had
Well,
an idea.
So a lot of these developers, they go into these games like with two plans, right? If this works, if it doesn't. They have like ideas of what they're going to go on to do, but they also have, all right, if it doesn't work, then we scrap it. That being said, I love that. You know what? To the audience listening, tweet us. Let us know on the Facebook page at Bat Hat Official or the Bat Hat Official Facebook page for the podcast. I don't remember what I actually titled it, but the Bat and the Hat podcast. Go and let us know. How did you guys feel about the Titan Joker?
And if you liked it, don't bother. That's all I'm gonna say.
You're such a sour bitch.
I am not. My arms are crossed.
Yeah, you look like an old lady.
I'm tired, and I don't want to talk about it.
Are you having
anymore.
hot flashes?
Been 3 days as a woman, and I'm already having hot flashes.
Yeah, let us know, guys, because I'm really curious to see if anyone agrees with me. I love the Titan Joker. I thought that fight was actually fun and challenging.
That sucked.
I think that, and then I think that you get to completely womp the Joker, and then he gets dragged out of there, and it's cool because what do you get at you talk to Gordon. And you're like, this is the frustrating part to me, is you're talking to Gordon, and Gordon's like, it was one crazy night, and he's like, and it's not over yet. And the fucking Batwing flies overhead and grabs you, and you fly off, right? And that's when you get to the thing with the floating
hand,
box.
yeah.
But where was the Batwing
The whole
the
time.
whole game?
Well, it did when you got a new gadget when you were fighting the Titan guys. I remember it
Yeah.
blows through the roof.
no,
and
yeah, I
drops you.
remember. Was that this one?
Mm-hmm.
It does that in
That's
City,
the first
too.
time you saw it.
Yeah, but it does
In
that
City,
in
it does that
too.
awesome like
It breaks
drops
through the
your
whole
suit.
wall.
Well, in City, it drops your suit in that capsule
No,
right
that's-
at the
that's
very
Night.
beginning.
That's the beginning of Arkham Knight.
Dude, don't go there with me.
Dude.
At the beginning of Arkham City.
All right, guys, tweet us at Bat. No, I'm just saying you're wrong. So,
At the beginning of Arkham City, you go through Arkham City. Then all
Uh-huh.
of a sudden, if you look up, you see Azrael at the top of the thing.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then you
yeah,
keep
you're
going, you
right,
fight
you're right.
Penguin's henchman as Bruce Wayne. Then you go over and you climb Ace Chemicals.
yeah.
And then the Batwing drops the suit in the capsule where he does the handprint. It recognizes that Bruce Wayne, a.k.a. the Batman. You put on your suit, you don, and then you do the dive bomb for the first time. Should I continue?
I have never been more attracted to you,
Well,
I think.
stay put, my friend, because it only gets better.
I think that is ridiculous. You really did go play these games this week, didn't you?
Mm-mm.
No,
Actually, I
you
haven't
didn't?
played that
You
in a
just
long
had that good a recall?
Yeah.
They do a similar thing in Night, though, right? When he drops the 4.0 suit or whatever?
Yeah, that's later when he gets his new suit. But
Yeah,
at the
okay.
beginning of City when you're Bruce Wayne, which was really cool. But we'll get to that when we do our second episode in July.
Hi, I run this podcast, and I know nothing about what I'm talking about. So
You are an idiot.
praise be to Matt. But yeah, so you kind of arc what's it called, bat wing out of there, and I think that was cool and frustrating because of that joke. Like he had the bat wing and he really just kind of got his ass kicked for the entire night. But then it's like he's going to do more things right now. He's like, the night's not over, and he's flying out to the city, and is like, I got more crime to fight.
There is a time jump though from Asylum to City though, right? Because they
Oh, for
obviously
sure.
build Arkham City.
Well, in the beginning of City is you as Bruce Wayne, and they had to build Arkham City.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely a big time jump.
cool.
But yeah, so I even wrote that down. I want a statue. I just paid for at Mythical Mountain on San Jose Boulevard here in the beautiful Jacksonville, Florida. I just bought the Arkham Asylum Joker and Harley Quinn statues, the pair of them.
Right.
And so those will be soon. I put them on layaway just because I was too cheap to go ahead and buy them. But I really want a statue to go with that of the Titan Joker. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Oh God, don't you bring that into
Okay,
the...
but let's just talk about the Joker itself. Let's forget about the Titan stuff since we're at the end of the game anyways. How perfect is this Joker? Not only in looks, but in Mark Hamillness.
Yeah, he's pretty solid.
It's awesome, man. Like I love it. That's why I found these figures. It was, $250 for the pair of statues, and Joker and Harley Quinn, and they were from the Arkham series. And the Joker is like in all black and white, except his hair is green, and he has green on his fingers. I think it looks fantastic.
I love how he deteriorates over the games too.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
And then they still found a way to bring him in the game for Night. He's just in your fucking head the
We'll
whole
get-
time.
We'll get to that. That's
I
gonna
love
be
it.
fun to talk about.
I love
and they
it.
even I like in Origins.
Right.
Just speaking of his aesthetic, not going into the game, but I like how they kept him. He was different, but you could tell he was the same Joker. He was just on his way.
Right.
So it was pretty cool. And Troy Baker is amazing. He's the
Yeah.
one I told you at MegaCon I
Oh,
met
yeah.
with Nolan North. I
Fantastic.
couldn't remember his damn
Fantastic
name.
voice actor.
Yeah, he's so good.
So that leaves us to we have a couple things we're going to go over news.
Right.
And then we're going to go over, but so the last thing I want to talk about as far as the Arkham itself goes is how did you guys rate this game? How did you guys rate it via the series itself? Where did it place in the 4? And how did you rate it as a video game, like 1 to 10? Like just as an overall experience, where would you put it? Matt, if you had a 1 to 10 it, where would you
See,
put it?
I always think this question's hard at this point because
Yeah.
if you think about it, like you said, before we knew what the rest of them came to be,
Yeah.
it's so hard. But
Well,
so I'll try to
go
be,
ahead, rate it as if you were going back
Yeah.
even after these games and experiencing this.
I have to
How does it hold up?
discount my corrupted save data. I always mention the surname. I'd
forget that
say
page.
it was. I'd give it a 7.
Okay.
I think it was.
I'll give it
It
an
was
8.
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
like it was
personally,
good.
7 or 8's a good.
I like how
good
we're
place.
always close, but we're never the same.
Yeah, I'm right at an 8 for because it's my favorite, but I can't give it a higher mark than like Night or Origins just because
There is one of them that gets a perfect score from me.
I know which one it is. You douchebag. It doesn't have the graphics. It doesn't have the same. Like you have more out of those games. Even though this is my favorite of the series, for sure, you get more out of the other games. So I can't rate it higher than those from a 1 to 10 scale. But we have, guys, the whole point of us doing this Arkhamverse series is that by the end of this year, I think it's going to be right at the end of this year, either November or December, we are going to get a new Batman Arkham game. And within the next 2 or 3 months, we're going to get the reveal of it or some kind of announcement.
I can't wait because they've been talking about this for a while now.
Yeah,
like,
it's been
is
a
it going to
minute.
happen? Is this just rumor? And then it seems to have merit behind these rumors. If it's WB Montreal again, which
It is.
it is, they did Origins, like you said. I think it was October. They released Origins in October. It was like an October-November release.
Yeah.
So I could not expect them to not be a creature of habit, and they'll do that.
Well, yeah. So we're going to get the Court of Owls is what they're heavily hinting at. Is that we're going to get the Court of Owls storyline, or at least a modified version of it, which I think is going to be phenomenal because
Can you imagine what their version of it's going to be? Like,
even if you didn't like it in the books, which I know you weren't a huge fan of, can you imagine the experience of it happening via video game?
well, and then it's cool too because it's going to happen, but it's going to happen to this Batman.
Yes.
So it's
so
gonna
we
be
have
unique.
That's what we miss is canon in itself. So that's what I like about the Arkhamverse. It's a very easy canon to follow.
Right.
We got like in Night, we got the Jason Todd stuff. I think we got that in one of the other games too. They had a glimpse of it in City or something like that. But
which the night one was so funny. Everybody called it right away. They're like, "It's Jason Todd." And
Yeah.
they're like, "No, it's not."
but here's the thing about that. Not at all did it detract from the game.
It was perfect.
I couldn't have cared less
It
that
was
I knew who
perfect.
it was. And people kept trying to be like, the Arkham Knight's actually Bruce Wayne. And
It's
blah,
a
blah, blah.
clone.
So speaking of that, by the way, the Arkham Knight is going to be part of the Detective Comics
I saw
storyline
that. I got very excited.
starting after Detective
I
1000.
love the Arkham Knight as a character.
I
think
just
he's
paid,
awesome.
and you're going to hate me. I paid, did we talk about this last week?
I don't know.
I
What
paid
is it?
100 and no, I only paid 80. It was $80 because they hook me up sometimes. But the Detective Comics 1000 is coming out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Arkham Knight's going to be, I don't know if Arkham Knight's going to be a part of this. I think he starts in 1001. But it's a big issue, right? Detective Comics 1000. It has 12 variant covers. So I pre-ordered all 12 because it's taking you no, fuck off. It takes you all 12 as Batman through the ages. So you have one that's starting from I think the 40s all the way into the 2000s.
So they have that classic cover where he's like, you know what I'm
Well,
talking
so
about. like
they
the very
have
first
9 different artist interpretations that's taking you through the ages, and it's so cool. They were already released online. I was like, I have to have these.
Sweet.
So I'm really excited about that. But
Is the Arkham Knight Jason Todd?
I don't know. That's the thing that I hate because the Red Hood is already an established thing in current comic books.
See,
right?
I love their version of it because it was like, I don't know, because Red Hood is my favorite character, him and Deathstroke, but
It was so well done.
it was just like, here's how he became the Red Hood.
Well, you know what I didn't understand?
cool.
This is the only part of the game I didn't understand, which we will definitely talk about more in depth
Yep.
when we do it. Batman punches him in the face, and his Arkham Knight helmet breaks away to reveal the Red Hood helmet under the Arkham helmet. I didn't understand
I thought that was so cool. Like, he basically broke the Arkham Knight cowl.
But he had
and it
helmet.
became-
He had helmet over helmet.
No, they were implying that the HUD that he had,
Uh-huh.
which made his face so cool, was like a top layer.
Oh,
So it was like a helmet with a top layer of a HUD. And
Okay.
he broke the HUD with the ears.
okay.
Trust me, I was so just
Fair
blown
enough.
away with that.
Yeah,
was so
it
cool.
did look cool though. But so we're gonna get the Court of Owls. I don't know enough about it. I think that we're gonna keep talking about this as it progresses.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about it a little bit when we were doing our Dark Knight trilogy episode. But what do you guys as an audience want to see out of the next Arkham game? What would make you happy? What storylines or what side missions? What do you want
Villains.
Riddler trophies and stuff back, or do you want them to scrap that idea and go with something different?
I'm a big fan of villains.
Yeah.
So if you guys have like some obscure villains that aren't normally thought of that you'd love to see, because they've covered a lot actually in the Arkham series.
Well,
over
somebody-
side missions and
Somebody
stuff.
said that we've gotten a lot of Two-Face, but no Two-Face. We
That's
haven't
true.
had any real Two-Face action. We had one mission with Two-Face, and it was boring.
Yeah.
Like,
Because you got him in the bank robbing side mission.
Yes.
And then at the
well, you got
beginning of
that side
City.
mission. But what was the one? There was one in City where he's like walking around with a Gatling gun or something.
Yeah, but it wasn't even really a mission. It was more cinematic. Like it was
right.
There wasn't
It
much
took
to
2 seconds to complete. So
Do you have any predictions other than Court of Owls, or are you just kind of set and that's probably what
I
it is?
want to keep doing it because again I've been doing a lot of research, so I have a lot of stuff boggling around the old head about it. But I don't know, man. It's so I'm really excited at the aspect of Court of Owls. I think I loved that Scott Snyder run. Him and Greg Capullo again made a perfect team. They continued. They're one of the few comic book creators, writer and artist who not totally exclusively, but they keep doing projects together because they work so well together. So a lot of times when you see Scott Snyder's name, you see Greg Capullo next to it.
Yep.
So they keep doing projects together because they work so well. And I think that was a perfect example of it. I would love to see how the Talon story, and I think that story about him being Thomas Wayne Jr. is a perfect thing to put into one of these games. I think that it just fits with the whole how we had the Jason Todd Arkham Knight thing. I think that it'd be a really cool thing.
I'm curious to see if they're going to do the whole Court of Owls killed his parents or something like that.
What I'd like to see is I'd like them to come back from the Arkham Knight ending without it being stupid. I don't know if it should be another prequel game.
It has to. It's going to be the origin setting. They said it's a sequel to Arkham Origins.
So it is an origin setting.
Well, this is all hearsay, but yes, they said it's a
Okay,
it's
well
a
in that
sequel,
case,
so you get the Troy Baker Joker.
that's fine. In that case, I would like Batgirl Year One, and I would like Dick Grayson Robin.
Oh yeah, because they said that might be an aspect too. Is
Yeah,
co-op.
but I would still like Batgirl because there were some iterations where they were right around the same age, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though in later stuff, her and Tim, the third Robin, they ended up. And then there's a lot of things where you see that the Robins were only spread out by
a couple years.
a couple years. So like between Dick Grayson and Tim Drake, it's like a 3-year swing.
Yeah, because I always thought that Jason. I knew Jason was younger than Dick.
Yeah.
But I never thought he was more than 2 or 3
I
years
think a
younger.
lot of us had this interpretation in our heads that each Robin was Robin with Batman for like years before they moved on.
They weren't.
And if you follow the canon
Jason died
enough,
quick.
well, seriously, if you follow the canon enough, Dick Grayson, you could argue, was the longest, like maybe 2 years, 2 or 3 years tops. And then Jason Todd came after, and then but Jason Todd died within like a year of him being Robin. And then you had Tim Drake come right after.
Yeah,
It was-
because he was like, dude, you got replaced fast.
yeah. So, and that was one of the big things is that So they're really not that spread out. Damien is the biggest gap between all of them, and then Damien being how young he is. So what I would like to see is year one Batgirl, as well as Dick Grayson Robin. I'd like to see, just in honor of Gotham, if they put the Penguin back in this game, can he be skinny?
Oh, you mean in honor of the show?
Yeah, in honor of the show Gotham.
Robin Taylor Lord.
Yeah, Robin, he's great. Gosh, he's so great.
He is pretty good.
I
I only have one request.
What's that?
Is give me the Phantasm, dude. I'm just saying the Court of Owls could have killed Andrea's father.
Do you think
which
that
caused her to be the Phantasm?
I would like to see. I'm sorry, because I don't think there's room for both.
Slade back.
I don't think there's room for both. I would say I'd like to see Batwoman, Cassandra Cain,
Nah, it's not gonna work.
but I don't think she works in that early of a setting.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we're going back to Origins,
it'd be Phantasm.
the Phantasm would be perfect.
Yeah.
Because of that timeline, like where he's younger Batman.
So don't get me wrong, I'm agreeing with you. I really would have liked to see Cassandra Cain in one of these games.
Trying to think if there's anybody else that hasn't been used that would be cool, but we can talk.
Can
about
I have a
this.
stupid request? They've made kind of hints to the Justice League in the Arkhamverse, right? So we've heard about Superman
Yeah,
from
we
the
all thought it was coming. Like that was going to be Rocksteady.
I would like a little cameo from somebody, anybody, even if it was the Flash or somebody. I'd like a little cameo. They don't have to be part of the game.
I'll take Oliver Queen.
Really?
Yeah, because they make Queen Consolidated known in Origins. Actually, is when you see Queen Consolidated.
Well, in Arkham Knight, you hear the thugs being like, "What about that freak out in Metropolis?" And like they mention the Flash, and I want a cameo. You know,
Freaking Martian Manhunter.
just from somebody. That'd be cool.
He's so dope, dude. He's awesome.
And you know what? That's a good idea. I want a random one. I want one that's not the Trinity. I don't want Wonder Woman. I don't want Superman.
the Atom.
I don't. What the? I would like a cameo from like Martian Manhunter or John Stewart Green Lantern.
He's my favorite Green Lantern.
I think Kyle Rayner might be mine. I mean, Hal Jordan is the classic Green Lantern.
I mean, Hal's cool, but
I don't know if I could pick
John
a favorite
Stewart's
between them because Kyle Rayner, Hal Jordan, and John Stewart, really great. But so, what do you guys want to see? You know, what would you guys really like to see out of the next Arkham game? Real quick, we are starting a monthly reading club. So I wanted to do this episodically, but we can't. It'd take too much time. So once a month, we're gonna have our reading club. We're gonna pick a subject. Or a storyline or a graphic novel, just whatever we're feeling. Me and Matt are going to talk about it, and we're going to let you know next week what it is. And then every month we're going to have a little book report and kind of go over it. And I think it's going to be fun. You guys can read along. We're going to let you know ahead of time what it is, blast it all over Twitter and Facebook. And if you guys want to read along and then be part of the conversation, just tweet us at BatHatOfficial right before we'll let you know when we're about to record. Or leave your comments and questions and stuff on the Facebook page.
if Oprah can do it, we can do it.
I think we're better than Oprah. So
Whoa.
well, we're not as
Duh.
rich, but
No,
we're
it's-
better. We're better. We're better than Oprah.
Oh,
But so we're gonna talk about that, and then next week we're gonna let you guys know what we're reading. I got some news for you, Matt.
Me?
Yeah,
Oh, what's up?
I got news.
Oh,
I actually did the news this week because I wasn't lazy.
is it for me or?
Well, it's not for you. It's really for them.
Well, your
But I got
wording
news for
is
you because you're the
confusing.
one sitting in front of me, and I need.
Yeah,
I
I've
need
been
more
meaning to
friends.
say this is very awkward.
So, I know you're not going to care about this at all. This is more fan servicey to people in my generation. The new Pokemon game.
No, I don't give a damn.
I know you don't. There's a new.
That's it. I'm muting. I'm out.
So the trailer was released for the new Pokemon game. It's called Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's the new two Pokemon games, Pokemon Sword, Pokemon Shield. It actually looks amazing. It's for the Nintendo Switch, and that's totally not the reason I just bought a Nintendo Switch. Wink, wink. And I love it. I grew up a Pokemon kid. I love.
You're a damn liar.
Shut up. I grew up a Pokemon kid. I love it.
Dude, I grew up during the OG Pokemons. You gonna tell me that I won't
I
care?
grew up. My first game was Pokemon Blue. Just like the real
What'd
ones
you
out
do?
there.
Grab a Game Boy Color and go?
No, just because I was born in '94 doesn't mean that we had anything past the Game Boy Color at that point.
94.
I grew up on the Game Boy Color.
If I say roll your windows up, do you know what that means?
yes, I've had roll your windows up because I am poor, Matt.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well,
yeah, sad.
okay. Well,
It's
I'm
all
gonna-
good.
I'm gonna stop.
The the Pokemon game looks honestly, it looks cool. So you got modern day graphics. It looks like more like a TV show where instead of like the old Pokemon games, you would tell it to attack and it would just kind of move a little, and then you would see the hit points on the other. This actually shows their full on. It's a full on theatrical, Pokemon
Is
game.
it the style of the original games, like where you walk around and do battle with random
essentially, yes, but this you can actually like see the people and they're running, and you can run through like it looks. I'll show you the trailer later. It looks really amazing. On the back of that, they also released a second trailer for Detective Pikachu, which
that looks so good.
yeah, it looks. So we got a big glimpse of not only Charizard but Mewtwo, who makes an appearance in the movie.
That's the number one OG.
Yeah.
That's like,
The very
snap.
first legendary Pokemon. Well, next to so you had Mew, Mewtwo, and then the 3 legendary birds, right?
Snorlax.
Shut the fuck up.
Articuno, Zapdos, and
I relate
Moltres.
this. Yeah, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Yeah.
See, I know what's up.
Yeah. Look at that.
So
So
I used to be able to burn through the first 150. I could tell you all.
really,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's great. So the Detective Pikachu trailer looked amazing. So
How do you feel about Ryan Reynolds? I love him, but
Dude.
at first I was like,
You know what? I was on the same boat, but I can't hate him in anything.
I think after a while, once you settled in it, it works.
It's okay.
It's pretty.
You
funny.
and me are gonna go see that one together too.
Great.
Because we got.
Oh, I got Captain Marvel tickets. I'm gonna go see that this week.
You
So
really?
on our next episode, hopefully you have seen it
I
also.
totally won't. I don't have time to go see it this
Well,
week.
I will have seen it, and I will spoil the shit out of it.
I hate you so much.
That is
When are you going
my
to see it?
Second or third allotted cuss word for the podcast. I'm going to go see it Thursday night. I always go at the opening nights because they release Thursday. They start at like 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going at 8. I don't know. We're going to see it Thursday.
I will probably see it next week.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you if it was good or not.
Yeah, at least let me know if you liked it or not. Speaking of that, gosh, that segues perfectly into our next piece of news. How do you feel about the Captain Marvel controversy that's been going on?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really subscribe into that. I'm excited for it. I like the Marvel movies.
Well, I think
man,
it's
so.
interesting because we've all been hyped about the movie, right? It got
Like,
really.
what is the controversy?
The controversy is that it got really terrible first impression reviews on Rotten Tomatoes by the critics and the early adopters or people who got
Didn't
to
they
go
say that
see.
was just haters trying to bomb the
Well,
score?
so again, so maybe, but so it got so bad, but then it went away. Rotten Tomatoes cleared its score completely.
can't
And
do
people
that.
are saying that, okay, well, Marvel is just threw money at Rotten Tomatoes and said, hey, make this go away. And not only that, but the and we don't get political on here, but the co-director of the movie said expect a very heavily feminist film. And just the way he worded it, I don't know, people were apprehensive. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to watch this. Because again, what did we just talk about? We watched these movies to get away from all that
Yeah.
crap. And
Well, I do remember hearing about that because they were saying, well, look at Wonder Woman. Look how great of a response that got. And they didn't do any of that like as the forefront. Sure, she was a strong female lead.
Right.
And, she was empowered and all
I
that.
would like to think you just said it. I would like to think he meant that she is going to be a very empowering character.
Yeah, that's great. We
and that's
expect
amazing.
that.
That's exactly what we need.
I have no qualms with that.
But I think the modern day feminism carries a connotation nowadays, and the way he just worded it was awful. So people were a little apprehensive. That being said, I'm so stoked. I think it's going to be a great movie.
I'm not. So, and it has nothing to do with anything we just talked about.
Right.
I was the same way with Wonder Woman.
Right.
It's just not one of my favorite characters, but I still went when it premiered.
Mm-hmm.
I was still there. I loved it. I've seen it many, many, many times.
Right.
I have a feeling that's how this is going to be. I'm more in the boat where I'm like, I have to see it because Endgame's about to come out. I know this is going to directly have ties to Endgame.
Yeah. Well,
So
we
I
have to see it before we see Endgame.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
have to. You know she's going to have some sort of... They'll probably even time jump
Yeah.
at some point in that movie where you can see current day.
We need to go see Endgame together, by the way. That has to be
yeah.
a experience.
But I have
I'm
every
gonna go see it in IMAX and shit.
expectation that it's going to be good.
Yeah.
There's been very few movies that they've put out that aren't good. And, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm just not like super... It's like with Shazam. I'm not super dying to see Shazam,
And I
but
am.
I will go see it when it
You
comes
know
out.
I am. I'm so excited to see Shazam.
But I'm being an equal opportunity, not excited about guy right now.
Yeah, so I was never a huge Captain Marvel fan myself, but I'm
which
excited
comes
to
the
see
debate,
the
who's
progression.
Captain Marvel?
Huh?
Who's
Yeah,
the real
which one?
Captain Marvel?
Which one's the real Captain Marvel? I was
Shazam.
never a big Captain Marvel fan myself, but I'm excited to see the progression of the MCU. So that's what I'm hyped about. And I think that if it is everything that they're saying it's going to be great. So the last piece of news we have is that the internet was aflurry this week because rumors kept hitting the internet about Disney shutting down the comics division of Marvel. Marvel Comics was shutting down, and it seemed very real. I never for a minute did I think it was going to happen, because the reports were like, the sales are just too weak. And I'm like, no, we know that they're not. They've been doing well. And Joe Quesada came out and was like, no, that's the stupidest
It's
thing.
garbage.
Yeah, he
Why
literally
did I do that?
he was like, he said that's the stupidest. I think his tweet literally said, this is the stupidest piece of fiction I've ever heard.
That's like literally somebody in Hoboken, New Jersey, was sitting at their
Yeah.
computer and was like, "Oh, I'm going to stir some controversy."
Yeah, he
'Cause
said
that's how they talk. In
he said
Hoboken, I guess.
he said that's not even close to a thing. Marvel Comics is not going anywhere. So I think that's interesting. But that's all I got for news. The last thing I got is for you guys. Books to look out for coming out this Wednesday. We got Batman number 66. That's the return of Tom King. He's coming back. He took a 4-issue break, or a 2-issue break technically a 2-issue break, because they split up 2 issues of Batman, 2 issues of The Flash for the price. It's going to further along the Heroes in Crisis timeline. Doomsday Clock number 9. Ooh. Finally, we're getting. Oh. I don't know. You know what? And I'm going to say maybe, because it keeps getting pushed. But
they're gonna tease Dr. Manhattan at the end.
Yeah, seriously. Doomsday Clock number 9 is slated to come out this week. God, I hope it does. I'm dying for it, and I just I can't handle it. Justice League number 19. Scott Snyder, as always, is in my heart, as well as Young Justice number 3. Brian Michael Bendis, who is just a comic book writing god, is writing currently. I think he has like 4 titles from DC. So he moved from Marvel to DC. He's writing Superman, Young Justice.
Does he do stuff with film? His name seems so familiar.
Brian Michael Bendis.
Yeah.
They all do stuff with everything. You probably seen producer credits and stuff with him.
Probably.
He basically saved Spider-Man, and he created Miles Morales. He was the creator of Miles Morales. So, Cosmic Ghost Rider Destroys the Marvel History number 1 is coming out this week, which I am so excited. Big hype. Paul Scheer, who's a comedian. Very funny guy. He was from that show, The League. I don't know if you remember The League.
Yeah,
he was the bald fella. Very funny comedian. And he's writing one of my Don Cates created Cosmic Ghost Rider, and now he's taking the helm, and he's going to write kind of a Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe style, book.
Just complete obnoxious, just over the top, probably fun to read.
Yeah, it's going to be super fun. So I'm excited about it, but I mean, that's about it, man. We've gone through everything. We're about an hour and a half in. And, again, we set up the Facebook page this week after
thanks to everybody that has liked the page. If you're listening now and you've liked the page, thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank
seriously.
you for listening. And,
we have about 200 likes on the page, right in a week, which, to some people may not be a lot, but to us, a small little podcast, we appreciate it. So, you guys who are listening, those who like the page, thank you so much. If there's anything that we can do to improve the cast for you guys, we want to hear about it. Send us a message, send us a tweet or a DM or whatever you crazy kids are doing, and let us know, what we could be doing better.
Dude, I changed my Instagram handle to @BatHatMatt.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So much rhyming. But no, seriously, if anybody is listening currently and you have anything to say, good, bad, indifferent, I am more than happy to include it in our show.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. I love that stuff. Please hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, call me, send me a crow.
A crow?
Yeah, like send the raven. Oh, send the raven.
Send the raven.
Send the owl?
What?
What bird do they use to send messages?
I don't.
Game of Thrones uses crows or ravens or something.
I don't know.
And then Harry Potter uses
owls.
Yahoo Outlook.
Yeah.
It's time to let's go.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Like he said, tweet us @BatHatOfficial. See the Bat in the Hat podcast page on Facebook, and then he is apparently Bat Hat Matt on Instagram at Bat Hat Matt.
Say that 35 times. Medium speed.
I hate it, but I love it. So thank you guys so much, and we will see you next week.
Later, guys.
Bye-bye.